Barry Jones is here. Now, a few months ago, Tony Conquest, who was unbeaten at about 10 or 11, was fighting in London against a guy. And it didn't work out for Tony, he got sparked in a round. He'll come back, he's a good kid. Anyway, a couple of months ago, we were up in Walsall, where Chris Keane, who was unbeaten at about 11, was fighting against the same guy. Now, that was a terrific fight, a proper old-fashioned slugfest, and Keane got done in the second round. Well, Steve Lillis, myself, Barry Jones and John Rawlin, we've all taken a bit of a bashing around the ear hole since then, because the man who did both of them, quite rightly, has said, hey, give me some credit. It's a delight and a pleasure to welcome to the sofa the man that destroys the unbeaten records, the cruiserweight that no one really wants to fight. Please, I want cheers, I want hallelujahs, I want everything. I want marching girls, steel bands, marching bands, the full what? Neil Dawson! There he is. Well, that's it, that's the end of the show. It's been a fantastic show. We're on again. Oh, sorry, we'll do some more then.
Not getting away with that.
Can you sit on your hands, please?
No. With a more big sauce.
Okay, first of all, Neil, thanks for coming down, all right, and congratulations, and you've overturned the odds, not once or twice. Those are the two fights we mentioned. You did it against Mene Edwards, and you've done it before in your career. Now, before we look back on those fights, and we get to be embarrassed by you, first of all, tell me, have you got the British title fight with John Lewis Dickinson, do you think? Is it done? Do you think that's going to happen?
That's on, I think, purse bids have got to be done by July 10th, and fights got to happen by end of October, so...
Okay.
That's state of play at the minute.
And
hopefully Box Nation will get involved and bring it to Box Nation.
We sort of owe you that, don't we? Is that what
I should think so. I mean, if you owe me something, don't you? Not really. Some sort of financial gain.
You can take me.
Although I'm just going to gloat up in it.
Oh, you are just going to gloat, yeah.
You can take me up north and put me on your mantelpiece.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the Barry Jones award. What's the Barry Jones award? Well, actually, it's Barry Jones. No, you went in with these two unbeaten. You've been in with lots of guys that have got good records, you know, strong records, and are a favourite fight in the house lights. But Tony Conquest and Chris Keane particularly. Take me back to, as you're getting into the ring with Tony Conquest, it's in his area, you know, it's the East End of London. He's unbeaten. What goes through what goes through your head just before that fight starts?
To be honest, when I get to the venue, I'm just in zone to... When I get there, I just can't lose in my own mind, you know what I mean? As soon as I get into the ring, I just don't forget to think about nothing but beating him, do you know what I mean? So, I know for a fact, well, not for a fact, but I had a very strong feeling that I was going to beat losing. They never even crossed my mind, to be honest.
And did you think you might catch Tony early?
Yeah, well, that was
sort
planned.
of planned.
I didn't want to... I don't ever want to be one of these fights, and I'll be the same when I go into the British title, that gets to end of 12 rounds, loses on points, and then you keep yourself for the rest of your life. Thinking, why didn't I try? I'd sooner get stopped in 8, for example, and know that I'd give it everything, than lose on points and think to myself, well, why didn't I do this fight for that?
And then, before the Chris Keane fight, you went in prize fighter, which was an odd thing, because you fought Danny McIntosh, the former heavyweight, and you seemed to never get out of first gear. You were just floating through. Well, what was the difference between you that night and the night against Chris Keane and the night against Tony Conquest then, Neil?
Because I think they just had a good game plan, the Ingle camp, and I could hear them shouting, hold him, and they were just fiddling the way through. I thought I'd win that fight. We were thinking we were winning it in corner.
Yeah, there was nothing in it, I'll give you that, yeah.
We thought we'd just start working him, but as you look back on, he caught with clean the shots and then held. But it was a good tactic for a minute, but it's not my style, to be honest.
No.
But Chris Keane and Conquest both had to come to fight.
Which you knew they would.
They both got to come to fight, and they can't try and fiddle their way through 10 rounds, can they? So I know that they're going to come to fight.
Now, with Chris Keane, I mean, we thought it would be the shootout it was. I just thought that he might have boxed a bit more sensibly. Now, of course, the argument is that you caught him and hurt him, so he couldn't box sensibly. But the bottom line was the pair of you just went for it, which is a terrific fight. Did you know earlier on, you know, way before the end, that you'd hurt him, that you could finish him?
Yeah, I hit him in the first round, to be honest. I hit him a good shot in the first round and hurt him. And then in the second round, I catch him like a combination. Calgary's you've hurt him from the corner. Now, you can see in someone's eyes when you've hurt him. That's why I came forward. And you said that he caught me with a good shot, which he did, but to be honest, when you're hurt, when you're hurt, there's no in it, and obviously I had like red mist, and I was going to go for a knockout.
Oh, because once you tracked him on the rope, his bum's on that sort of second rope, and he does catch you with a good shot. You catch him with a good shot, but that is an old school, isn't it? That's old school fashioned slugging. That.
What impressed me most?
Oh, don't start now.
My big friend Neil.
Don't start now.
Yeah.
No, well, to be honest, we knew you could punch. I thought that Chris would be too fast for you. That's what my honest assessment before the fight. And he probably did have faster hands than you, but you use your chin. Your chin's just as good as your punching power, so that makes you dangerous. But your punches were shorter than his in that last little exchange, and that shocked me. I thought you looked like a guy who could only punch at long range.
No,
you shortened the distance. You shortened the
thing
distance.
about me is I can box as well. Do you know what I mean? But my career has stopped and started because of family life and a few problems that I've had. But I am a good boxer as well. So just take my time a little bit, and I know what I'm doing.
Carl's gym's in Lincoln or somewhere, and you're from Yorkshire. I mean, do you travel down or don't travel at all?
Towards fights, I'll travel down there a few times a week and travel around to do different sparring and that. But my main training is in Bunwell, which is like just for convenience really. It's not the best place for me to train, but it's only right corner from my house. So you know, like with family, with family and kids and that, you need to be comfortable, don't you?
Now you've had, when you're talking there about problems, you've had some work problems, haven't you? It's been it's not the work's not been steady, so there've been some hard times.
Yeah, well that's it. I mean, recession just crippled. I mean, I feel like I'm saying it over and over again.
No, but it's true, yeah.
That is what happened, and you've got a mortgage, 2 little kids and that, and you can't... Money that I make off boxing, enough to keep me boxing. I have to make
at the moment
a daily crust, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
so
I did exactly the same thing. I gave up for 12 months. I was undefeated. I had more money working away.
And to be honest, I'm not earning a lot of money at work, but with recession, we were not there, and you just had to do what were there. So
and the good thing is, and I really mean this, and I say this to all the cruiserweights I interview, whether it's Chris Green, Conquest, whether it's you, John Lewis Dickinson, Waddy Camacho, is that all of you guys, and also obviously Shane McPhilby, all of you guys can fight each other. I mean, there's 15 fights for you out there, isn't
that's it.
I mean, what time you had a couple of rematches?
I've done 3 or 4 of them already, but the other guys, they won't fight on other undefeated kids or other top. I could go out into top 10 now and make 5 really competitive fights, but they won't do them.
But I mean, like Chris King will want a rematch, Conquest will want a rematch. So let's assume you beat John Lewis Dickinson. Okay, let's say you beat him, and then let's say your first defence is, I don't know, David Dolan, not David Dolan, Shane McPhilby, for God's sake, who knows? No, who knows? Anything can be recycled. We're in the boxing business. Conquest will fancy a rematch, King will fancy a rematch. I mean, there's an awful lot of fights and decent money. I mean, you're not going to be buying a yacht and going to the Caribbean, but good money.
If I win British title, obviously we'll just do boxing then. But first match, if I win it, or when I win it, is Matty Askin.
Yeah, of course, because you lost it, didn't you?
What
happened in that fight?
I just went out of Steve.
That's what Steve did. I've been out
of the ring for 5 years, and I've had 2 rounds of it. Back training hadn't gone fantastic, and I just did what I could, to be honest. But it's an opportunity that come up, and in boxing, if you don't take them, they're gone, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? But and as you've seen in the last few fights, I've took them. Edwards took prize fight, Conquest, King. I've just you've got to take them all, aren't you? Because you regret it, don't you?
I tell you what, you have. Now, one thing that would be really good, and
football stadium, New York Stadium.
You know why he said that? It's because Cardiff, who used to play Sunday League football down in Wales, because they're in the Premier League, he's giving everyone jip about that.
Well, I hope he knows more about football than him.
I got an answer for that.
Let's go. Let's look now at this, and I'm intrigued by this idea that you've still got to work, and you're looking at a British title, and you're still picking up the phone and calling someone, and see there's a little bit of work going on. But you think if you could win the British title, okay, with the money that would come with that and defences after that, you think you might be able to put your tools down and do it?
Yeah, well, when fights organised, I'll work out in my mind how much time I can have off work to train for it, if you know what I mean. So I won't work right up to the day before the fight, but I'll have to just juggle it like I've done these last few fights. I know there's a bit of money in them, so I can try and just give me best that I can. Just take a little bit more time from getting me 100%, like so.
And have you ever been overseas sparring? Have you ever done that?
No,
That, I mean,
not overseas. I used to travel around sparring. I've had some good sparring in my time. And
paid sparring. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I've sparred with.
Quid,
Yeah, I used to do a few different guys like sparring, but I still get good sparring now, to be honest with you. So there's no reason why I can't. I'm confident I can win British title now. I've watched Dickinson. He's a good fighter. He's a tough lad, but he's not, like I keep saying, like Mike Tyson. He's there to be. I think he can be beat. So there's no reason why I can't beat.
Well, as Barry will tell you, I'm a massive fan of the British cruiserweights because look at the rocks. We've had about 4 different champions in the 18 months we've been on there. We started off with Rob Norton, then went to Leon Williams and Shane McPhilbin, then Enzo won it back, then Enzo lost it, then McPhilbin. I mean, it's been a fantastic 18, 19 months for the cruisers.
It's a great division, isn't it?
It is a fun division,
It's exciting. It's exciting, and we got Richie, about 10 fighters there who could all, like you said, fight each other. There's a few others coming up as well, isn't there? So it's a healthy division for the next 5 or 6 years at least.
Yeah, I think that. I think that win or lose in British title fights, if you're a cruiserweight now, I think you can be recycled. I think you've got 3 or 4 years. You haven't got to go unbeaten in that 3 or 4 years, and you know yourself. But boxing's not. It's not all about being unbeaten. It's nice, I imagine, but it's not all about.
But I think that's what a lot of them think, though. I think if they get, as long as they're getting a win, another and the record's 9, 10 and 0, they're thinking they're getting somewhere. But end of the day, if you're boxing people you can beat, you're not getting anywhere until you do box somebody who it's an even fight.
An even fight. Now. Leaving us for being a pass, it's been great. Thanks very much indeed. To Barry Jones, who's got his no fears Rotherham paper there, making out. Look at him. Barry Jones, thank you very much indeed. Neil Dawson, Neil, thanks for coming down. Hopefully we'll see Neil in a British title fight sometime in September. I'll be back on Friday. We've got a big night.